Hi, I'm Roland with Impress Computers, and today we've got our senior technician with us, Kurt, and he's going to be discussing network security and how you can protect your business. Welcome, Kurt.
Thank you.
So in the news recently, we've seen a lot of big companies getting attacked, getting held up by ransomware. What a lot of people don't see is that the small companies are getting hit more. In fact, 80% of the attacks, of cybersecurity attacks, are happening against small businesses because they're the low-hanging fruit. So as a small business owner, what can people do to protect themselves? At Impress, we've come up with what we call a cybersecurity stack. And Kurt, if we go through those different layers, the first layer being a firewall.
Right.
And with a firewall, why would a company need a firewall versus just getting their regular modem or router from Comcast or Consolidated or AT&T?
Well, the enterprise-grade firewall provides a lot better security and more features, such as content filtering, deep packet inspections to ensure that there's no malicious code coming through in the data, whereas the off-the-shelf routers don't provide that in-depth security.
So basically, that's your first line of defense. If you don't have a good firewall, then that's kind of like your moat around the castle.
Exactly.
You're going to be more vulnerable to attacks.
Yeah.
So the second thing is we've introduced a zero trust layer.
Right.
And we're using THREATLOCKER. So how does THREATLOCKER work and how does it protect companies' environment?
Right. THREATLOCKER essentially is a zero trust product, and it uses always deny type policies, meaning not devices, but software that is never seen before would automatically deny its execution of it. Also uses ring fencing, which basically ensures that an application does not trigger another application to execute.
So that's a good thing because you've got your whitelisted programs, so you can say, okay, these whitelisted programs are good, nothing else can run.
Right.
But then with your ring fencing, if that whitelisted program, like Microsoft Office, were to then trigger something else that it shouldn't be doing, it's then going to say, wait a minute, this shouldn't be happening.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly right.
So we've got our firewall. Then you've got your zero trust, which doesn't allow unknown programs to run. Yeah. So if you click on a link or an attachment, then we come to Sentinel-1. Now, in the old days, we used to run things like WebRoot or general antivirus. But Sentinel-1 is now your next-gen antivirus, which comes with a 24/7 SOC and EDR. Now, those are a lot of acronyms, but what does it really mean? What is Sentinel-1 doing, and what is a 24/7 SOC, and what is EDR?
Right. So the 24/7 SOC essentially reviews all the alerts that come in from the software, which is essentially an AI type software. It goes out and it looks for threats, essentially threat hunting to ensure that there's no malicious software that resides on the machines. If it does encounter something that's questionable, it will raise an alert for that human SOC to take a look at it deeper.
And that's a physical human on a 24/7 basis looking
Exactly. Which reduces a lot of false positives and identifies a lot of true positives as well to ensure that the environment stays safe.
And that is what we then lead up into the endpoint detection and remediation, or EDR. So they're looking for files that are changing. And, you know, as we're seeing, a lot of ransomware tries to change the file name, and that triggers, wait a minute, this is a ransomware attack.
Exactly.
So they're able to shut that machine down, isolate it, and then our team is working on a almost continual basis. We've got the day shift, but then we've also got the night shift.
Right. Yep. We got the night shift as well, who would also, once these alerts are triggered, the night shift technician takes a look at it as well as the SOC. And essentially they communicate with each other because there are some things that the SOC may not realize that's happening in a particular organization's environment, whereas that on-call tech or that on-duty tech
has a better
more
understanding.
insight. Exactly.
So we've got this moat being your firewall. Then you've got your zero trust preventing programs from running. And then you've got your next-gen antivirus with Sentinel-1 that's detecting and remediation against any threats that get beyond that.
Exactly.
But worst case scenario, something happens, or disaster. You get a flood, you get a fire, you get theft. Something happens that causes your server to go down or your environment to be impacted. So we've now switched to Acronis backups. So explain how Acronis is different to a regular data backup.
Okay. Acronis is Acronis CyberProtect. Basically, it's a cloud backup. Also does on-premise backup via the same interface. But it has a lot more features than your average backup solution. It can actually do vulnerability checks across your network. It can check for your patches as well, for your Windows operating system, as well as do disaster recovery, creating VMs to be spun up in the event that your on-premise hardware is either no longer due to a fire, flood, or what have you, so that you can still operate via VPN to that VM.
So you can spin up your server in its entire environment, in the cloud, and get everybody up and running. That way you're reducing downtime. But now if you were to restore from that to a new server, in the past with data backups and using things like Crash Plan Pro, that used to take a long time. But how quickly is that happening now with Acronis?
Yeah, with the technology today, it's a lot quicker. Actually, even today with other backups, it takes probably twice, if not 3 times, longer than with the Acronis backup. With the Acronis disaster recovery, using the image to restore on a hardware, essentially we've seen about 24-hour turnaround till the organization is back up and running from the time we receive that hardware.
So we've got our firewall, we've got zero trust, you've got your Sentinel-1, we've got our team of guys working both during the day and at night. And in the last stand, your last resort, you've got your Acronis backups to get you back up and running. That sounds like an amazing security stack. And Kurt, I'd like to thank you for your time. And if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to us, 281-647-9977.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for watching. If you want to protect your environment and make sure that you protect it against the bad guys, give us a call, 281-647-9977.